Alright, everybody, welcome to Chapter 1, Week 2, Chapter 1, Introduction. If you go to your course and you see that there's only a few things to do this week, or just kind of prepare you for what's coming, you're going to read Chapter 1 and you're going to do the Chapter 1 quiz. You click on that link, this link, it'll bring you right to this Chapter 1, and just read through it. It will be kind of an overview for each chapter in the book as to what we're doing. You'll go to from 1 and all of a sudden you'll be in chapter 2. You're not missing any information. That is this chapter, and it goes through each chapter of the book and kind of gives you a little rundown of what's coming up and what we're going to be doing. In this course, there are a couple things. This is called web application development, and it's important to understand that there are different kind of applications within a phone. If you are using a dedicated application, or what they call a dedicated application, something that you normally think of as an app on your phone, you will use a programming language based on the phone that you want it to run on. So, for instance, let's see. If you want your application to run on an Android phone, generally you would use Java to program an application and have it run on Android phones. With Apple, you would use Objective-C, one of the C languages, to program a dedicated application for Apple devices. And if you wanted it to run on Windows, you would need to program it using the .NET framework. So if you make an application using the .NET framework, it will not run on an Apple device. This course, we may touch on some of that, but the bulk of what we're going to do is learn how to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Remember that HTML5 and JavaScript make it possible to develop apps that can run across cross-platform on all the devices. So they're not as robust as the dedicated applications that are made with those programming languages, but they can run on all devices, and they'll look more like a web page. For instance, this is something that I made a while back, and it's a simple like employee management system. You log in, and you can search for jobs, which employee is assigned a job, where the job is, the ID number, which client it's used for. Go in here and you can do searches. And I don't know, it's been a while since I've used this, so let's see. Nope. Employee does not exist. Let's see, I know the client does. And if you click search, it populates it. You can add a client, delete clients, clear the form. This is a web application, and it stores all of this information. This works by using HTML to create the document. Here, let's go to view the page source. I wrote all this, so viewing the source of the page, this is the HTML. Here is, let's see if it'll just open. Yeah, here's the CSS, which styles the page. And then the JavaScript. This is the JavaScript that makes the page run. Here, just to get it to work without too much, this doesn't actually, a real one will reach out to a web server, get that information, and populate it back. Just for demonstration purposes, I had this all run in local storage right in the browser. So as soon as you go to this page, this function kicks off and loads all that information that you can search for into the local storage. And if you go to the storage, local storage, you'll see that I have several databases here populated with the information. And this is where my particular web application is running. Generally, these databases will be stored on a server, so the The web application goes out, reaches out to get that information, and brings it back to the device. Each of you should probably look at this if you want to go to this website. It's Eastern Carolina Digital Forensics.com/project, and you can take a look at that. I don't expect to see later on my code being used in any of your projects, but this will give you a good idea of what we're probably going to end up with at the end of the course. That being said, I'm not sure if you all got this or not, but this is a software that we're going to use throughout the course. You all have a web browser, and don't worry about this. You don't have to go out and get it. I'll let you know if you need it. Node.js, MongoDB. I'm not sure what MongoDB is. I don't think I've ever used that. SQL is it's another programming language for databases, and I'll walk you through all that. Apache is generally something that's run on a server. And these here, if you're really interested in app development, are something that you should familiarize yourself with. Xcode is for programming apps using Objective-C for Apple devices. Android Studio and SDK, the development kit, is obviously for Android devices. And you want to familiarize yourself with those if you plan on making dedicated applications. Visual Studio is a good all-around IDE. I really like it for a multitude of things. I use it a lot for Python. I use it a lot for HTML, CSS. It's just nice to have. It's nice to familiarize. I like it. I prefer it, but to each his own. Use whatever software you feel comfortable with. We'll use some of this other stuff, jQuery and jQuery Mobile. That's easy. Matter of fact, it's got to be a capital P. Nope, it's got to be a lowercase p. If you look at, again, go back to the source, you will see that I use jQuery and jQuery Mobile in this. There, you simply download them and put them in a folder for your project, and they work. And that's what really gives it this nice style. These curved buttons and everything, that all comes from jQuery. Let's see what else. We'll learn about JSON, JavaScript, object notation. Again, these are that was a JSON file, I believe, that loads all that information into. Nope. At any rate, we'll cover that. Just remember that JSON is a syntax for storing and exchanging text information. And I don't know how much we'll do of this. We'll probably do it just so you're familiarized yourself with it, but you can use a canvas to create drawings on a web page. If that's something that your particular application that you want to design uses, then you use a lot of canvases. I don't generally. And I think that is all you really need to take away from this week. Something that I do want to mention just for this course, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. If your assignments are late, if I don't feel like you're putting in effort, I'm not going to be very lenient. Just remember to get stuff in. I put a lot of time and effort into the course, so I need to see it back. And of course, if you're struggling with anything at any time, shoot me an email and we'll walk through it and I'll help you through it. If you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. And if you need anything, shoot me an email. If any doubt, shoot me an email. I'll try and make myself available as much as I can. All right, I'll see you next week. Thanks.